guys, I want to welcome you to my newest YouTube series. It is not a comp prep series, it is how to diet smarter. And I'm going to start it with how you should actually be tracking your progress. This is surprisingly something that not a lot of people realize, how you should be tracking your progress, or maybe they're doing one of the things or 50% of the things, and there's also possibilities they're not doing some of those things right. So this is going to cover all of those so that you can have a perfect check-in every time, and also have a very consistent one so that your assessment is as accurate as possible. So there's 3 things that we use to track our progress. There is the scales, our girths, so your centimeters using a tape measure, and progress pictures. So those are the 3 things that you should be doing when you do a check-in, because they can change differently week to week. Some weeks the scales won't move, but your centimeters will move. Some weeks neither will move, but you look better in your progress pictures. And all of that is relevant. As long as you continue to diet, you will see results across all 3. So by doing all 3, you are covering all your bases. There's always a good in your week. And for your coach, it means that there is always some change, and they know when it's time to change your macros or your activity level, because there is a broad spectrum of how to check how you are progressing. Especially someone who is at a lean body fat, seeing how your body is changing physically in your progress pictures is often more important than the scales. So I'm going to break down each one just a little bit each, and also give a couple of final tips at the end of this video. With your scales, you should be using the same set of scales whenever you jump on them. So you might be a daily weigher and do an average weight of that. There is a blog on my website which will give you more information. I will put a link in the description. So you want to jump on the same scales, because no 2 scales are the exact same. And also check out my blog on how your scales can mess with you if you don't leave them in the same spot. So moving them around and the way you jump on them, like where your foot placement is definitely important as well. And then your girths, you want to find some markers on your body to do your girths. So for me, I have a list that I want the girls to hit each week. But your coach may be different, and they may be happy for you to just measure where you want to change, or maybe you're just doing this for yourself. But I do have these few markers just because they can change each week. Just because you want to lose weight off your bum doesn't mean that's the first place the weight is going to move. So it is good to measure across your body so that you can see those changes. So for my girls, there is the bicep, which is the thickest part of the belly, and it's their choice if they flex it or relax it each week. There is the bust, and I always recommend the nipple line under the bust there, which is just under the boobs when they're sitting up where they should be. And then there's the waist, which is the smallest point of you. There's your belly button, and then there's your hips, which is actually your bum, so that is the biggest point. And then your thigh. So go for about the end of your fingertips, so that then you've got that little marker. Or maybe you have a mole on your body. So this is the kind of thing that can be really great to use. I always do my measurements in front of the mirror, and I'll turn side on just to double check that I'm straight. But for me, like my bum, the biggest point, obviously when it changes dieting, I know that I always sit it in the little crevices on my hips. So where my little hips tuck in before my quads start. So that is the kind of markers that are great to use, because they don't change. Especially if you're coming from quite a large weight and you feel like your belly hangs down over your hips. You can measure underneath your belly. You can measure over your belly, because that is still part of your progress. The fact that the belly's not there anymore. So find markers on your body and use them to measure each week. And in your progress pictures, try and wear similar underwear or a bikini each week when you take them, and take them in the same way. So hitting the same poses, the same angle of your camera, and preferably the same lighting, especially if you are having someone assess the progress from week to week, because lighting and angle can change the way you look dramatically. So I recommend either propping your phone up on a shelf or a windowsill, or if you've got a tripod, you can use a tripod. If you want to use a self-timer, use the self-timer. Otherwise, turn it on to video, go step back, stand, flex if you want to flex, or just be relaxed if you want to be relaxed. Stop for a 1, 2, 3, and then turn to the side, a 1, 2, 3. Remember, lifting your arms up in a side progress picture allows you to see your full side body. When you have your arms by your side, you can be covering quite important things. So lifting them up will allow you to see that full side profile. And when it comes to a back one, it is your choice if you want to put your arms up or if you want to just leave them down. But don't be squeezing your shoulder blades together, because it's just going to make your back look really narrow. People think it'll make their muscles look bigger, but you're actually better off to spread out a little bit and you will show more muscle mass. So once you've done the video, you then screenshot and then you have your progress pictures. Doing it yourself is actually the most accurate way to do it. So lots of people will get that first progress assessment done and they'll have their partner or their mum do them for them. And then week 2, they'll check and they're like, oh, my mum wasn't around, or my hubby wasn't around, so he couldn't do it. So therefore it starts to become inaccurate because they will measure in a slightly different spot to you. They'll take the photo in a slightly different way. If you just do these things by yourself the way I described at the very start, it's always going to be consistent. Consistency is key. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like someone else's progress pictures. Your measurement points don't have to be the exact same measurement point as somebody else. As long as you are consistent with where you do them, that is what's important. Now, when you should do your assessment or your weekly check-in is actually something that is surprising how many people don't realize, that you should do this first thing in the morning. You don't want to be doing this in the evening once you've finished eating all your food, drinking all your water, because it is going to always be different. It's going to be incredibly inaccurate. Whereas when you do it in the morning, fresh, you don't have to have gone to the toilet if you're not the kind of person that can go to the loo first thing. But if you are that kind of person that can go to the toilet before you eat breakfast, then go to the toilet, then start your check-in process. Because this way it will be more consistent week to week, because you are going to be empty. There's not going to be a random amount of water in there, an extra diet soft drink, or extra volume food. You're not going to be bloated from excess fiber in the day. So by doing it in the morning, it will be the most consistent. I hope these tips are going to help you with your progress photos, assessments, your weekly check-ins, whether you're my client or someone else's, or you're just doing this for yourself. And I am excited for you to stay tuned to the rest of this series as it continues to come out, and it is all about how to diet smarter, because we're all about smart. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, show some support on YouTube so that other people will get to see this content. But also head over to my website, check out the coaching options if you would like to be coached by myself, or my ebooks, which are great for someone who's happy to work on their own and don't feel like they need a coach, but they want some training program and maybe some basic nutrition advice. Or there is my workout products, which for right now, while we are in COVID, are great because they are perfect for a home workout, or you can use them in your gym bag. Everything is perfect for that health and fitness lifestyle. So go and show me some support and I will keep bringing you content like this.